Greetings, Mainlander. It is me, Spoilerion. I have come to tell you that the next hour and some change that you're going to listen to is chock-a-block full of spoilers of the main story of the World of Warcraft, The War Within. My edict dictates that I warn you that if you don't want to be spoiled, I don't know, like, go play it yourself or wait a week. It shouldn't take that long, and there's a lot of funny goofs, so you should not miss out on the comedy that the Titans have provided you. My edict has been fulfilled. I'm gonna go beef it now. Bye-bye.
Archers, attack! Keep firing! Let none escape! Another down! Do not relent!
Welcome back to DNR. We've got so much to talk about, I don't even have time to do an intro. I'm Slidewhistle.
It's Immunization, hello.
And it's me, Aaron, Fire Mage Extraordinaire and Horde Punching Bag. Let's get right into the city that is no longer here.
Oh man. So you're talking about the Niffin Zone, right?
Yep, the Loam, they did it again. A different dragon went and genocided it this time. They said, "Oh, we really ought to move. This keeps happening."
Deathwing's Folly. We held back. You got a warning. So, I mean, I guess we could just cut right to the fucking mustard, right? Like, right to the fucking...
Yeah, so just another warning. This episode will be very spoiler heavy of everything, whatever the fuck we want to talk about, the War Within related. So if you don't want to be spoiled on something, don't listen to this episode probably until you feel like you've done enough of the story to feel comfortable with being spoiled.
So, I know the actual Illyria has some feelings. How does Illyria, your cat, deal with the fact that Khadgar, your cat, is now dead?
So, yeah, basically right off the bat, in like the first quest line, Xal'atath nukes Khadgar, presumed deceased, I assume, at this point. I mean, that's what we're led to believe. I personally believe he's still alive and out there, but what do y'all think?
Well, Aaron, you're the expert in magery here. So can you speak to the use of portals and why Khadgar couldn't just make two portals, one for himself, or a portal big enough for him and Illyria? Why did you just send her?
You know what? I don't really know. I cannot, it was also kind of improper portal form, if I may say. I do believe, didn't he put it on, like, the ground and she sunk into it?
It was more true to, like, Portal form, like the video game Portal, you know?
Yeah, it's, I don't know. I'm actually I'm okay with him dying if he's had the secret tech for years and he just refuses to tell me how to do it.
He's been holding back. I don't think he's dead though. I don't know. So it's just something about not seeing him actually turn to dust. We just see his hand like evaporate into dust, right? I mean, obviously the whole city gets fucking cut in half.
Yeah, so other spoiler alert here, Dalaran, the city, is decimated, destroyed, blown up, just rubble everywhere over the Isle of Dorne. And yeah, Khadgar, my theory is that, like, so he teleported Illyria away, and then he, like, actively seemed to, like, reach his hand into Xal'atath's, like, giant spirit bomb thing, and then his hand started evaporating. My personal theory is, like, maybe he didn't have enough energy or mana left for an additional portal for him, so he decided to try to siphon some energy from Xal'atath's void bomb thing to then create a portal for himself,
which is a confirmed use of the void. I think I was reading right. I read that the void takes magic and turns it into like powerful shadow. So maybe he just reverse engineered it.
He is a known trickster, you know?
I'll say if anyone could do it, it's the Guardian, which I forgot that was sort of his nomenclature. But yes, the Guardian of Dalaran. I personally, yeah, either he turned it, well, one, I don't think he's dead at all. I feel like that'd be a nothing burger end to an incredibly important character. And I know they've done that before with, like, Vol'jin. Even Vol'jin gets his time to shine. I think either he siphoned it and did something magic, or
I think perhaps Zally took him prisoner because that seems to be very much her MO. We later find out...
So let's wait. I don't know how did you do the campaign for this week, Aaron?
I did,
okay,
yes.
So in terms of spoilers, let's actually avoid that because Immune here didn't do his homework and didn't do, and so I really want him to experience that for himself.
So I started it, but I haven't finished it yet.
That does make sense because that's what I was going to say. Is based on that, perhaps there's more than we think.
Yes. You won't even see this coming. I mean, you like what I was like, wait, what the fuck are you talking about right now?
Wait, me? Oh, so like there's something I already talked about is already wrong?
It's, you'll find out later today, probably. That's the one thing that we'll hold on. Also, because it's a current campaign, so.
Yeah, that's fair. And then we definitely have enough like release War Within content that we can talk about before even getting there. So,
but Aaron, pin this, and you can do a big circle back one day.
Okay, yeah, maybe next week. Later on, we'll meet together tomorrow to just discuss this for 4 minutes. But, so after that, you crash land. The thing is, you're at Khaz Algar because Counselor Drendon, not Dresden, which I put in a bunch of media prior to the release of War Within. Sorry, I added that S in, everyone. Drendon said, Magni said, "A woman's telling me to go to Khaz Algar. It's Azeroth. She's speaking to me again." And then Drendon's like, "I'm actually really good at teleporting our entire city there. I think we should do it." And Khadgar's like, "Drendon is my best friend. I'd do anything he told me to do."
Oh yeah, and then Drendon's the one that was revealed to just straight up be Xalatath, right?
Yeah,
really
and she
mad.
wasn't even smart with it. She wasn't even smooth.
Yeah.
They get there and she's sitting over there, snapping, rolling the dice like she's in a 1950s gang. And it's like, Drendon, why are you being weird? Like, nothing's happened yet. And it's like, what do you mean nothing's happened yet? And I was like, I feel like that's, like, yeah, you're over Khaz Algar, but, like, I feel like it's still really early on in your plan, Drendon.
And, like, that really pissed me off. I just feel like everybody on Azeroth, the heroes of Azeroth, should be so predisposed to catching tricksters hanging out amongst them. Dreadlords, spies, all kinds of things want to take down Dalaran. If Drendon's acting weird, somebody say something next time, please.
Y'all, maybe he just doesn't have any friends.
Yeah, we don't mean to judge. It's just like, Drendon's acting really weird. It's like, well, he is a mage. Those magic guys, they're not like you and me, normal Dalarinian.
We saw him eating sewer rats last Tuesday.
The warlocks do that on the rig.
I think the implications of Dalaran being exploded is actually crazy as fuck, though. Like, think about all the shit that's there. I mean, you see it in the Ashkahet storyline, like, who's down there, but...
Yeah, basically throughout the entire storyline of the War Within, you just encounter people that just happen to have been on Dalaran, like, that need help. And I'm like, this is just crazy. This is literally a city being destroyed. So many people dead, I assume. Like, it's crazy.
Yeah, and there's a quest where it's like, go and prepare the people for teleportation. You get to check in with some of the base players. And poor Chelsea Cheese is like, I can't wait to share my cheese in this new world. And then you see her get, like, cut in half by a Nerubian. I'm like, Chelsea Cheese!
Yeah, you could walk around Dalaran and you could see all the people murdered. The entire inn, like the innkeeper and everybody in there, was straight up killed. And I'm like, no, I stood by this guy for hours AFKing while I played Hearthstone.
Slide also had a good point. I don't know if he said it like on our Discord or just like to us. I don't remember. But you can get to our Discord by going to donotrunnit.com. How many order halls gone now?
Well, at least portals to them. Yeah, I think they only got the rogues and the mages, but what will we do? They even destroyed your little island. What's it called? Demon Hunter Island.
Oh, yeah, the little the fisherman. Did the fisher guy get
No!
I
Conjurer Morgos! He was just saying, they're like, oh, well, I guess they're going somewhere else, new. At least I got my pond with me.
You know, I choose to believe that, like, he just happened to not be teleported with them because he's, like, a separate little island.
No! Wait, so his island state. I thought it was like, oh, something's rumbling on the ground. And all of a sudden he was 1,000,000 feet up in the air and it was like, oh dear, looks like I'm gonna plummet and die.
Oh man. But yeah, it's good. It was a really good intro. Like at first I was like, okay, this is just like the Legion invasion, but the fact that Dalaran does not survive and is now wreckage on the Isle of Dorne is like pretty sick.
That was going to be my top two last week. Was
Dalaran
just,
being destroyed?
No, well, but that like the cinematicness and like the direness of the Dalaran being destroyed scene was like, oh, this is like masterclass. Like once again, I know I'm biased and I'm stinky, but I'm like, that's like the first time in a long time that it's like, even though I knew it was going to explode, I was like, oh, I'm actually really like scared. This is too intense. Like I said, bugs were eating Chelsea Cheeseman, and like Wilfred Fiddlebang, they took his little toy wand and they snapped it in half. And a Nubarek showed up just to talk shit and then leave through a big purple portal, just so we got Magni to point at her and be like, that's the new bad guy.
What's her name again? You said a Nubarek, but that's the other guy. That's
Not
the old guy.
Nubarek, I'm sorry, Ansurek.
Ansurek. I didn't realize how similar they were until just now. I was like, wait, that is her name, right? No. So we're on the Isle of Dorne. We've crashed. I'm trying to remember. So I've just been playing WoW. Like, my brain is fucking fried.
Well, so basically you start questing with Moira, right? And she just...
Well, yeah. We do our little thing where it's like, oh, get ready. Like, we need to save as many people as we can. And during that, a hammer from the blue comes out, and here comes the Storm Riders of Khaz Algar.
Yeah, and I feel like a lot of the Isle of Dorne storyline, it's kind of funny because it feels like Moira herself, she's just like, I'm a queen of the dwarves. There's lots of dwarves here that need some leading. Then she just goes around and like a mother and a queen just is like, y'all, stop this. Stop fighting with each other. You're friends now. And then they're like, oh, she's right.
I've seen all this shit before, she says.
I mean, their society is so plain Jane that, yeah, just a just a powerful mommy figure showing up. It's like, yes, mom, I'm sorry. We've been yelling at each other for 7,000 years, but this woman in her space buns made us feel bad.
She's really good at scolding.
So also, it should be said, when we roll up, the Storm Riders are like, you all are nasty and gross. You should leave. And they're like, well, we can't leave. And it's like, you should try. But then Magni goes, stop yelling at me daughter. She's a bomb-ass bitch. And they're like, you're made of crystal. You're a they-them-gar.
Yeah, the Thragar. Also, can we talk about how, like, when it was time for the storyline to start, Maggie was like, I'm better. He just started walking around like nothing happened.
Yeah, there was never a quest line of like, oh, I got up. It was just like, oh, it's a big nap.
No, I'm pretty sure you just get like a push notification quest from Moira. It's like, oh, he has risen indeed.
Yeah, it's not even, they don't even have a talking head. You just get it in your quest journal that's like, he's up.
It's so weird. I mean, I guess I get it. It's just, like, get to the point, but yeah, so they're like, he's a Thragar. We haven't, what is it like? We haven't seen you, one of you in forever, or there's a lot of you. Or...
They claim to have never seen it. Your friend whose name that I don't remember, it doesn't really matter.
Baelgrim?
Yeah, Baelgrim.
Baelgrim sounds correct. Baelgrim seems to say that these guys are super duper leaders that used to exist, and there was like dozens, 100 of them, but no one's seen them in a long time.
By this point, I was like, this is crazy. I was like, something's going to fucking happen. We're going to see 1,000 stone dwarf or diamond dwarfs or something. And then it was the opposite. I mean, it's later, but...
Yeah, the only stone dwarf is gone now, Oops.
I guess, yeah, that's... We planted that little seed. We're going to talk about someone became white. Ew.
We got to just fast forward to that, right? We can loop back around.
Well, I feel like I can explain basically the rest of the Isle of Dorne in like one sentence. I feel like the leaders of the Isle of Dorne seem to have like a 4-person council, and you need to go about and convincing them to reunite their council because there had been problems or whatnot. Is that basically what happened there?
Pretty much.
Yeah, because the people in Dornegal and the Storm Riders are like, we are robots. We just do whatever we do. And the machine heads as well. It's just like, we are even more robots. But there's a 4th leader who leads the Unbound, who are the Earthen who want to behave like people. So it's a big thing of being like helping them while also being like, see, Baelgrim, you can be nice. The whole thing is, you can defy your edict. Because he keeps saying, like, it's my edict to always get Jimmy John's on Sunday. That's Jimmy John's day. It's written in the stone. And then you teach him that it's okay to the point that it's like, oh, we need to leave. You need to protect the Storm Riders. And he's like, what if I killed myself real quick instead?
Yeah, so, spoiler alert, he dies. And I feel like he really did not have to die. I don't know if you guys feel that way, but I feel like he did not need to sacrifice himself in that way. And by that, I mean, like, there was like just this onslaught tower defense type deal of Nerubians that were attacking this brewery, and like you set up this trap of like this fire brew that would then explode. And as they were overwhelming, Belgrim's like, nope, y'all get out of the way. I'm just gonna throw my lightning hammer down in there and dive bomb and make it blow up and kill myself in the process. I'm like, dude, you really did not have to do that. Like, you don't understand. We are the heroes of Azeroth. We could have handled this.
Yeah, when I saw that quest, I was like, okay, this is different. Like, we're doing like arrows in the ground and it's showing us stuff. But like, is there a world quest like that that has happened again? I haven't noticed.
No. The only thing I've gotten over there is just like, kill more kobolds. 15 of them are here. Get rid of them. I have not seen the system. It's also interesting because I guess I didn't put a lot of stock into it, but my defenses were routed within maybe 28 seconds.
Yeah, I was like, I must have really fucked something up. And I'm like, oh no, it's supposed to be that way. At that point, just let me go down there and fight them. Like, we could get a party going and we'll be fine.
It all felt unnecessary to me, and I don't know if I just set up my defenses badly or if it's just like meant to fail within like a very short period of time, but mine also failed in a very short period of time.
I'm sure you set yours up probably pretty bad.
That's what I just said.
Yeah.
What I'm saying
that's for sure. I didn't see yours, but I know for a fact that you really screwed the pooch on this one, Immune.
Fair enough.
What, did you put all your honey traps on top of each other, thinking they'd be stuck there forever because it's quadruple honey?
I didn't look up a guide first.
You idiot. But yeah, so he's dead. Belgrim's dead. I was like, okay, so
and also his order was dead too, because he was the NPC that I was talking about, where you'd go through the rookery with him, and essentially every single moment in the rookery, he was like, oh my god, all our birds are dead, all my friends are dead, the concept of storm riding is dead.
Isn't there a song called Storm Riders?
No, there was not, but there was in fact a 1998 Hong Kong wuxia fantasy film based on the manhwa series Feng Wan by artist Ma Wing-xing called The Storm Riders. Directed by Andrew Lau, it starred Iken Cheng as Wind and Aaron Kwok as Cloud. The plot involves two children, Whispering Wind and Striding Cloud, who become powerful warriors under the evil Lord Conqueror's tutelage.
Okay, so that happens.
Ding dong, I hear some dinging. The coreway has been repaired and it's time to go to the Ringing Deeps.
I like the Ringing Deeps. I finished my Sojourner of Ringing Deeps. I don't understand what your beef with it is. It's got just as good quests as the Isle of Dorn does.
So literally, as I said last week, I think, my only beef was that there was a bunch of shit on the ground, a bunch of moss that was really pissing me off. And then look, I just got to the part of the quest where, I was able to clean it and all the rubble, and it looks better now. So my beef with the Ringing Depths is over now. Also, I'm officially never going to call it the Ringing Deeps. It's the Ringing Depths to me.
My issue is essentially just they don't have Lost Grandpa quest. They don't have cute stuff like that. A lot of it is like, it's just like, we are machines. The machine we are standing next to is broken. And then you do 7 quests for them, and it's like, congratulations, you have turned on the machine again.
What about when you clean off the moss off the dead people with the caretaker lady?
That was good. I do like that, because the caretaker was like, even in death, they formed a cool circle where they're passing a frisbee to each other.
Some of the pose bad. I'm gonna say it.
If I shut off, I would pose really cool, but these guys clearly didn't put enough thought into it.
I also was thinking, I know the kobolds aren't going over so well, but we haven't gotten official kobold lore before, right? Before it was just like they have candles and they kill people.
Yeah, most people in the world of Azeroth just treat them as vermin. So there's never been like a lore dive. It's just like, ugh, these guys showed up. Kill them, please.
I'm about to say a term that's about to be echoed across Belluar videos years to come later. I think we're seeing the Hearthstonification of World of Warcraft, because Hearthstone, the kobold models, the new models look like the kobold models, and the kobolds have lore in Hearthstone. They're slowly rolling in a lot of things that they've established in the Warcraft universe in Hearthstone as being mainline now. It's kind of weird.
Now, I'm no Hearthstone aficionado. Candle King, wasn't he a Hearthstone NPC before he like took roids and got his RFK on?
It's honestly, that sounds right, but I can't say with 100% certainty. But I would not be surprised if like eventually we see King Togwaggle show up, who's the king of the another king of the kobolds.
Well, I feel like first off, I agree with you. The Hearthstonification of WoW is distinctly a thing. Like I feel like we could personally name several NPCs that have been added just from Hearthstone, like Elise, right? Like that whole group, the explorer people, right?
Jackson is in the Delves. Brandon is in the Delves using his Battlecry egg power from Battlegrounds. Like he's hatching dinosaurs out of eggs.
Which I do love is because it's a battle cry thing, you have to hit it, but its health is only like 400 health. It's like, I get you wanted it to be cute and be like, oh, so like Hearthstone, you have to activate it yourself. But it's also like sometimes we'll be in the middle of the battle and I'm like, ugh, roll my eyes and like intentionally throw a scorch at it.
Brain, can't you shoot the egg? You summoned it. Anyway, so we're in the Ring Deeps, the big machine guy. Oh, right, the guy being carried, right? The other speaker man.
So basically, the whole storyline there centers around the Elder Speaker. So I guess, okay, as we said last week, everyone you meet in the Ringing Depths is a speaker of some kind. But the Elder Speaker, I assume, is the leader of them all? Is that what's happening there?
Yes, they all, because it's a worker society, and they all seem to take orders from him. He is the high speaker of all of them. And I believe, I hate to say, I was doing too many quests. I didn't super pay attention to the big shield quest. Is it just everyone's asking him to turn on the earthen making machine? And he was like, no, now's not the right time. Only I know I'm the high speaker. And it's revealed that he can't.
It seems like, basically similar to the Nerubian empires, I feel like the earthen were on a decline because they were unable to successfully make more earthen. So they were slowly all just deactivating and their numbers were dwindling. And I guess he was unable to successfully turn it on. So then he made a deal with Xal'atath to start using her void magic to infuse with the... Aaron, you said it. What was the machine called?
It's the Awakening Nexus or Awakening Machine. Essentially, it's a big... Like when you go to the Henry Ford Museum and you want a wax hot dog, it does that for muscular dwarf guys. But yeah, the whole thing is like, oh, we have no wax. It's like, I'll supply the wax. But when you make them, now there's a high chance they turn into corrupted evil demon guys called Skjarden.
So I know the problem is that they're running out of batteries, but new ones aren't being made, right? Isn't it just recharging ones that the Titans made? Is that what it is?
Oh, is that what it is? I don't know actually.
I would assume it has something to do with the Thragar, if only because of what happens later. But it's almost like the Titans provided them the energy source via batteries or via Thragar powers, and we ran out of batteries, and we haven't seen any of these crystal guys in a million years. So we have no way of making new earthen
besides using void magic apparently to make evil ones.
Which is sick because the Skjarden we've never seen them before, but they were supposed to be in Grim Patrol, and they were described in a book exactly how we're seeing them. So this is probably one of the first things from an old book to be revived in an actual fucking use.
Fun fact, I saw a YouTube short from when did it even come out? It was a week ago, so that was the 22nd. I saw a YouTube short that was published on the 21st being like, when are we ever going to hear about the Skjarden? And I was like, you dumb baby. You don't even know what's coming.
Yeah, because what's funny is I believe actually Slide said this at some point, maybe a few weeks ago on this show. Grim Patrol actually is linked to Xal'atath. So I feel like this all just checks out as well.
It's Magda. Magda was the great grandmother of Dagran, or grandmother? I forget. Yeah, she's making shit. We got to get to Mangi. I want to talk about Mangi.
Okay, yes. So you go and it's determined. You find out the High Speaker Elderls, his secrets, and then you bust in his door in the dungeon, or I'm sorry, adjacent to the dungeon, and it's like, oh no, we have no way to turn the battery on, and he's set off a void bomb. He's gonna infect all of these Play-Doh molds. What can we do?
Yeah, so then Crystal Magni goes up, and I don't know what y'all were thinking as this cutscene was happening, but I was like, shit, they woke up Magni just to have him die right here, right now.
Because, so Dagran's like, you can do it, go get him, use your power you used before, and literally he's like, he just freezes, and his power, like, leaves him.
And they keep it going for a long enough time that Dagran's like, you use Azeroth's power to turn off the bomb. And then he turns around and he's a statue and he's like, I'm glad I got to know you, Granda. Like they let it hang in the air long enough that like Growlina started leaving.
Yeah,
she was
and
sobbing,
meanwhile,
but like she picked up her coat.
Yeah, and then Moira and Dagran are like embracing each other as if like, you know, they lost their father and grandfather. And I'm like, oh shit, this is it here. He I guess turned to stone and died. I want to say that this entire thing really reminded me of Pokemon the movie.
No, the Earthens fighting our dwarves, brother. My brother.
A Magni / Ash turns to stone. Dagran and Moira each shed a single tear, and then he comes back to life.
Yeah, the rock starts. And it's funny because he was in the same exact pose that he was in Cataclysm when he first turned to stone. So I was like, this is bullshit. I was like, this is classic fucking WoW. It's gonna write him off, and then it starts flashing through his skin, and you see his beautiful tinted skin.
Yeah, because he's fucking naked, which was the first thing I thought. I'm like, why is he naked? And Slide was like, why is that the first thing he thought?
Oh, man.
I'm like, I don't know. He had clothes. Yeah, but officially dubbed Mangi.
It's our first time seeing Magni as not Diamond. I don't know how I feel. I kind of wish he was still Diamond.
I want them to give him some official clothing, at least. Because he hangs out in the Ringing Depths, but he's just in like his vanilla like cloth or like leather civilian set, and I'm just like, can we get Mangi some armor quick?
If he's a class that needs to wear leather, can we at least bedazzle it? Like, he deserves that at least.
Oh, we also didn't even mention that Azeroth literally said it's time, right? She was like, it's time.
We heard her voice. We heard a woman's voice. Like, Azeroth spoke to him, and through us, we can hear it.
I really wish I remembered. So, because the Awakening Machine, I think it's just dwarfs in stasis. Like, it's not like new dwarves. I think it's just old powered down ones that they put there. Or is it the idea that they just like made some and never activated them?
I know I keep saying, Play-Doh mold. I believe they have made physical bodies that have no spark. They have no not human, but dwarf-manity to them. And through his magic, he created a new race of earthen, the ones you're going to play, wink. But also, at this point, we don't know if it can keep going. Like, does a Thragar need to explode every single time that they make a new race?
Right, yeah, I guess I don't know. Maybe they have some power that helps get it going. The description here that I found says the machinery responsible for recharging the earthen after they enter stasis has become damaged. So I think it's a recharger. So if it's a recharger, then that means that they had life.
That does make sense, if only because you'll meet other earthen that talk about squashing their cycle. So maybe it's like when they die, quote, you can take them to this and it will rev them up again and they get to live again.
Because part of the quest line, I think, in Isle of Dorn also is that like the earthen have like memory chips that then can be stored away in like a library of memory of all of the earthen. So maybe this is like their process of reincarnation, but then they save core memories of each incarnation.
Is this Chris Metzen messing around with cryo freeze chambers, trying to live forever? Is this his ideas?
He got really obsessed with cryo freeze treatment. It's like the writer's barely disguised fetish. The writer's barely disguised Google deep dive.
But I had no clue that Magni was going to be undergoing this process. I thought they were just going to kill him. So like and then with the thing that Aaron almost talked about at the beginning that me hasn't caught up yet, I think there's a lot more twists that we do not see coming our way because Warcraft has been so predictable. Like I have not been that impressed with like them tricking me or anything. I think we truly are in a new era.
I will also say this. I appreciate that we say they're not impressed by the trickery when we fully engage with any single leak that Wowhead releases. It's like, I gotta smell this. I gotta take this in. Like, I do appreciate they managed to get 2 or 3 away from Wowhead that me, who loves to spoil myself, was not able to.
Yeah, exactly. They're doing their best of keeping shit from being data mined. I think because it's not even in the files yet. Like they're like now just kind of withdrawing that stuff. I'm like, hell yeah, let's go.
But to get back on track of the story, I feel like that is the end, I believe, of the Ringing Depths storyline, right? And then we move on to Hollowfall.
Do we? I forget. Is it just we opened a big door and it's like time to go through the big door? What is the justification for going to Hollowfall?
So Hollowfall and Ringing Depths are the ones that are like on like the same level, right? Like we don't like have to go down a whole lot, right?
I think Hollowfall is beneath Ringing Deeps, technically.
But like not in the same sense that like Ringing Deeps is below Isle of Doran, right? Like
no,
you don't go down that far.
You go through a physical passage, but it's just like a gently descending hallway. Yeah, it's not like if you were to walk Ringing Deeps to Dornegal, that'd be like weeks of your life that you're walking up a spiral staircase.
Yeah, so this is a storyline, an area that I think is my personal favorite. I think just aesthetically I like it. I just really like
said, let's get rid of these little people. I need some tall guys in here.
Where are the pointy ears at?
Yeah, you caught me, you know, like I hate the small races in World of Warcraft. Get rid of them. No, I'm just kidding. But like I just like the aesthetic, the giant like crystal that like turns between light and void. I like Farron. Farron's like one of my favorite new characters I think that they've ever introduced, if I'm being honest.
Well, who is that?
So,
Tell me who that is.
Crystal has a name. It's Belladar. If you love it so much, you would have said that.
Okay, well, Belladar then.
And also, people think it's the tip of Sargeras' sword.
Who thinks that?
Also, I want to say that
Internet people.
No way.
Oh, so I don't remember if we said this last week or not, but like I love how they've been like putting a bunch of like stay a while and listens and stuff like that. But like, okay, so I think I knew at some point that it was a theory that Sargeras' sword first piercing Azeroth and this crystal turning purple for the first time were related in some way. But like I don't remember if that was just something that was said in passing at BlizzCon that like I just absorbed into my mind or something like that. But like if you didn't do one of the stay a while and listens, you wouldn't have gotten like a little bit of additional lore that is potentially what it coincides with.
Yeah, because they said that in the like they basically confirmed it in Stay a While and Listen. So the crystal existed before Sargeras stabbed his sword in. It didn't start turning purple until the sword got stabbed in. Unless somehow the crystal morphed from being a flat fixture on the ceiling to being pointy, I guess, but nobody mentioned that part.
I was going to say, like, in that moment, it went from being one of those boob lights to being, like, a little, like, pointy chandelier.
I was going to say, we haven't met anyone who was there before the Day of Darkness. But their whole thing was that they've been there for a long time before the Day of Darkness. So, sorry, everyone online. I championed your cause and I look like a fool. I'm never going to do anything for you again.
Loser.
Also, I do appreciate, so you meet up with the Arathi, who we went over sort of their backstory before, but you'll notice every single one is an elf-human hybrid. And it's very funny because every single one is, but there is one NPC that you can gawk at and go, ugh, yuck, gross. Why do you look like that? And she explains that the elves and the humans of the Arathi Empire have just bred so hard that they're no longer a distinct race. Except for the one old elf that's like, oh, that's how you can tell how old I am, is I'm still an elf man. I'm still a blood elf model. But yes, everyone looks the same. Like they have the same ears and stuff. But you have to talk to one specific woman by a boat dock to be like, gross, yuck, why do you look like that?
Yeah, I mean, like, I feel like for me, I just really like this region, and mainly just aesthetically. I really like the cities in it and the architecture, and I feel like we all, as probably the premier Urel stands, we also love standing light-based zealotry in this game, you know?
Exactly. If you are holding a society down by tight restrictions based on your faith, love that. big fans of the light here. Call me Halsey. Take me to church.
Hosier?
Sure. You know what? I was like, as I was forming that sentence, I was like, their name starts with an H. I'm just going to say one and I'll probably be wrong.
Homer.
Go.
Yeah, the city, not the zone. Fuck, what's it called again?
Well, the zone is Hollowfall, right?
Hollowfall. I wanted to call it Belladar. It's called Belladar. It looks crazy. It doesn't look like anything in current WoW, I feel like.
It looks like not a zone. Like, it's like the vast majority of it are big purple or gray cliffs, and just these guys, through sheer force of habit, have just made grass grow in certain places, and that's where they've made their big archaic cities. But yeah, it's interesting how much of it is just open space of like, yeah, this is just kind of a dank cavern, and these guys have forced themselves to live here.
Yeah, and I feel like a lot of the core of the storyline here is involved with Anduin kind of hitting it off with Farron, and then also like rediscovering that he can let the light into him again, basically. I've seen some people mad at Anduin, but like, that's my man. I'm gonna stand by him.
What are they mad about? The fact that, spoilers, he doesn't do it?
That he's pissy, maybe. I don't know.
Oh, I mean, his fate. He had two fates in this world, his daddy and his light, and he doesn't have either of those right now. I'd be mad too. Especially because he was really good at shadow magic. He killed me like 17 million times back in Shadowlands. Yeesh. He should become a Death Knight.
Yeah, I mean, and then he said that was part of the problem, that he enjoyed killing Growlina a little too much.
Quick aside here. The article that I was reading about Magni's story was posted on Wellhead in April. They revealed everything about it. That's
Excuse
fucked.
me. April, they revealed he became Mangi?
Revealed he became Mangi. They revealed that he died and the shell broke. Every aspect of it they talked about in April. They gotta shut Wellhead down.
I mean, I'm glad. Props to us for just ignoring things sometimes, I guess.
Back to the Hollowfall. The big ships collided with the rocks. They were teleported by Belladar, probably. I guess they said it was a mysterious force. I don't know who teleported them there.
Which, by the way, I don't know if you've seen that. It can happen to you, too. If you go to the edges of Hollowfall, your screen whites out, and you wake up on the ground in Hollowfall.
What? Like
yes.
Where? Like somewhere random or like...
Oh, well, I mean, I think just like the nearest solid ground nearby, but Belladar's light also holds you within the confines of the area to protect you from whatever is in the distance, which we can see occasionally. We mentioned it before with the discarded fish quest, but there's definitely old god void influence at the edge of Belladar that is like the crystal itself is trying to protect you from.
Something crazy is about to go on. I mean, it makes me wonder what's directly above Hollowfall.
Yeah, I mean, like the giant, like Belladar is like stabbed into the ceiling. I feel like there's something above there, right?
Like, let me see the tippy top. Is it a man? Is it a man sitting on a giant crystal going hee hee hee?
Man crystal, man Belladar.
I guess this whole time we haven't really referenced the day of night. Belladar, the crystal, used to be really nice and keep the lights on all the time. But when Sargeras stabbed his big sword in, he dinked it. And so now it turns into a void crystal. And when it turns into a void crystal, apparently everyone dies if you're not next to a big nightlight that the Arathi have made. So that's a big part of it is... And also, I forgot, there's a cult now of Arathi who are so trapped in this big cavern that they're like, well, we want to turn off all the lights and die.
They're like, turn off the lights.
I also was thinking, if people online thought that that's where Sargeras' sword was stabbed, wouldn't we have started like just by digging into Silithus? We would just have gone down from there because we're not anywhere near Silithus, right?
Yeah, I feel like based on the maps that we see now, like in game, if the sword was actually there, it would have to be like stabbed very at a very sharp angle. I feel like, you know,
a very wonky angle. Like Sargeras was going to kill the heart of the planet, and then he slipped on a space cluster, and he was like, "Oh!" and he put it long ways.
So, trying to figure out why Beladar would turn void if the location is not that close by. Is Beladar a long crystal that goes to Silithus, or is Azeroth maybe a Naru and it's connected to Azeroth as an extension?
I could see that. I mean, like, because like this crystal seemingly is linked to the light, and it was hurt when the planet was stabbed. So, I mean, like, I think what path you're thinking could potentially be. I mean, like, or like the Radiant Song, or like whatever Azeroth's life fuel is connected to the light in some way, or it's presenting itself as light.
Watch Azeroth be like the light titan, and it's like the basically Immune's great grandpappy, the source of all things holy, is just inside of Azeroth.
I mean, like, Azeroth being the titan of like life, maybe, or like life and light would, like, I mean, like, that's fine. That'd be like, that would check out to me, because like I feel like what Azeroth champions are just known for being so fucking resilient. It's annoying to everything else in the universe. So like, I don't know.
You can't kill us.
So what? The zone ends after Anduin has a moment where he's like, maybe I can have like a moment with the light again. Then we board a ship and then get shot down.
Well, the thing is that we go to check on a civilization, and it's like, oh, beans. The Nerubians have killed everyone here. And as we're leaving, it's another thing where it's like, we need to get on the ship. And then a big Nerubian's like, oh, I'm going to smack you down. Remember the Legion intro? It's going to be just like that. So just like that, Anduin's like, I'm going to channel my daddy. I'm going to go down there and use my awesome might to smite all these bad guys. And when he gets there, he actually can't do light stuff. So he gets took.
No, and I feel like the cutscene there was like very similar to what you're referencing too, because like he dives off with literally his dad's sword, and I believe Illyria is like hanging off the ship in the same way that Sylvanas was. So like it was very much a parallel.
Boo,
like on
it wasn't
purpose.
Sylvanas, it was Gen. Come on, it's my dad's only thing that he gets to do.
No, I'm talking about the pre-Legion cinematic,
yeah,
where
they were nodding at each other on their ships.
Yeah, with Sylvanas and Varian.
Okay, also, who's sitting on the throne right now? Is it Gen? Is Gen watching Stormwind?
Well, okay,
You
so
know
I
what?
will
That's
say,
the thing,
spoilers
yeah.
for y'all. I just made it to the point where in the current quest line, when leaders of the Alliance and Horde are arriving and Terralian's there, and I was like, well, I thought Terralian was supposed to be sitting on the throne.
He had to check on his J-Lo.
It's so terrible, because I feel like if I would warp back, like, they wouldn't have thought of that, and it would just be like, Terralian's like, I'm here to stay.
You know, we should check. It'd be kind of cool if they had just like, the king's out right now. Sorry, come back later.
They put on like one of those signs that is like, "Will return at," and then like have like a little like clock at a certain set to a certain time.
I guess because Gen's really not doing anything either. He's not even sitting at the throne of his kingdom. So yeah, I guess would he even have time? I guess he's still king of Gilneas, but he's leader of no one at this point.
He's got a lot of time on his hands.
Speaking of time, we have no time! Because yes, now that Anduin's been taken, we gotta go after the Nerubians. But guess what? They shot holes in our big Catholic guilt ship, and we've crashed.
You know, that's a
But who is
perfect
saving-
way of putting it as somebody who has had forced Catholic guilt on them, you know?
I mean, the Arathi, their entire shtick is very much so. It's just like Catholicism, get it? The most oppressive religion you can think of.
Maybe we save the Nerubian stuff for the next zone for next time when you catch up on the campaign over here.
I mean, okay, fine, yes, I will catch up, but like Slide was saying that like maybe we should take a little bit of time here to talk about how we're feeling about like outside of the story, just like other War Within features.
Mm-hmm.
You guys done the Awakening the Machine weekly? The weeklies are kind of crazy, I feel like, in this.
Yeah, I have awoken the machine, and I can say the machine may have been awoken, but I certainly was asleep.
And can we also talk about how I'm not used to these symbols yet and what they mean for all these quests? I'm like, I know there's a legend, but like I just like don't look at it. So like that's on me, I guess. But I'm like, so blue one with like circle around it. Is that weekly?
That is not a weekly. That is every time you get a thingly.
What the fuck does that mean?
You open you do these Azarithian memories by getting a memory core. And so anytime you get a memory core, you can summon a common level Azeroth memory. But there are also ones if you collect 5 memory cores, and there are other ones that are a higher level that it won't even tell me what they do yet.
Yeah, I don't like that event either. I just feel like, am I supposed to be in a group for that for the Radiant Soul one?
Yeah, essentially what it is it just does the pre-patch thing, but like on a 10-minute timer. But yeah, I really don't know because there are things in there that kick my ass. And I haven't seen it in the group finder like, hey guys, I'm about to go do this. But it's very much more, you need to do more than just one person can provide. Because when I did it by myself, I got like 40 fun bucks. And I was like,
yeah,
really?
I was gonna say.
This thing I've only received 3 of ever gives me $40.
I tried to kill like a rare in there, and I was like, I was so close, and then I just got my ass punched, and I'm like, am I supposed to be stronger for this? Why are you giving me the currency for it now?
So okay, so what are like the weeklies for each zone, and should we be doing them like a week, and do we get like chest or rewards like we did in Dragonflight for like doing the soup or whatever?
So, from what I can tell, the theater that was referenced last week, that is Isle of Dorns. I don't know what we do in the ring. Oh, the Awakening Chamber in Ringing Deeps. Hallowfall, I believe it is just that zone in the upper right, which just they give you 10,000 weekly quests all at once.
Oh, so okay, but is that one the weekly? Because there's another quest up there. I don't know if you noticed this. It was locked. What is the locked quest? So it was locked, and it was like, finish 2 more world quests to unlock this.
Yes,
and I did that,
yes.
and then I did another weekly event, basically.
That is independent of those. So yeah, you go up there and there's like 48 weekly quests, but also yeah, once you do X amount of world quests, you go, but it's just another weekly quest. Like it's not like an event. It's not a big thing. For me, it was kill guys around here to get magic chum and then kill 3 monsters that were summoned via magic chum.
Yeah, and you get like a cache with like stuff in it, right?
Mm-hmm.
The Awakening the Machine one, they need to change something about it though. Like you have to clear 20 waves, and these waves are not interesting. They don't do a lot of damage to the guy, so he's not even really at risk of dying. It's just weird. Why is it so long?
Did you get all 20?
Yeah.
Oh. Maybe I should let the man be hit more. I was giving it my all, and I made it to level 16, I think, and I was just like, wow, can't wait to come back next week when I'm more geared up.
Wait, what do you mean? You just left?
No, I died.
Oh, what happens when you die?
He's just like, I guess that's as long as we could go, and then that's it.
Oh, interesting.
Well, because you figure I can't heal myself. I can heal him by giving him the bits of the healing robots that you kill, but Growlina does not have a self-heal other than ice cold, so it was a little harder for me. But I guess, yeah, if I just let people beat the guy up, then I can just pick them off while they're punching him.
I also felt like a priest is cheating because I was able to just mind control the earthen guy who does the fire attack. So I just had him and I used him to fight things. And now I will say there is an interesting mechanic. There's this machine that will just shoot lightning in an arc at the dwarf man who you have to protect. And if you put anything between that lightning arc and dwarf man, the lightning will zap that thing. So I mind controlled the dude and I made him stand in front of the lightning beam and it just killed him while I killed the machine. So I'm like, okay, I guess.
Honestly, watching Slide play a priest has been like very interesting because like I feel like I never use Dominate Mind like outside of like the only reason I would ever have it on my bars or talented into it was like from Mythic Plus when I would have to dominate that one affix. I just never think to use it when leveling, even though like it makes so much sense.
Yeah, Dominate Mind is like it's like a shadow meld if there's one thing attacking you. I'm like, oh, fine. I'm going to control you. I'm going to mind the node, and then I'm going to dragonfly away. So when you're undominated, you just fall to the ground and run away.
Immune is experiencing what I did for a long time, where Slide is pulling out tactics you've never even thought of on your main, and you're like, ah, fucker. I need him to go back to one of those other ones I don't play. I'm tired of him showing me up.
Legitimately, that's how I feel right now, and I'm like trying to cope with it by saying like, "Oh, that's a shadow thing." Obviously, even though it's not, it's very obviously not. It's literally on my bars right now.
Shadow. I'd never do that.
Well, I don't know what I'm gonna be playing. My Demon Hunter is heroic leveled. I've been doing dungeons on him, and my Evoker and Death Knight are 80. I got 4 level 80s. Before they did that leveling nerf, which wasn't even that big of a nerf, by the way. People made a lot of like talk about it. I don't know. It just kind of slows it down like a little bit, but I don't think it's anything crazy.
I had a couple people reach out to me like, "How do you feel about the nerf?" And I was just like, "I'm sorry, guys. I'm a one character man right now." I was like, I got her to 80 during the premium period. I just do dailies now.
It's like it basically really only applies if you are a level 70 who has like sick gear from Dragonflight, or you're in a dungeon with a level 70. That was really the crux of it. So like when I was leveling, if I had like a couple like level 71s, I would hit Riku immediately after, just so I had them in my group. But as we got on and they leveled up, it got slower because we kind of grew out of the twink phase, basically. But now I feel like there is no twink phase.
Twink death is real.
I haven't tested it yet, but I've been trade chat basically, the crux of all things true has said it feels the same.
Oh, another thing that happened recently, I think maybe like yesterday or 2 days ago, is that like Dragonflight Season 4 tier sets for level 80s no longer work, which is nice. I was like, fuck, I don't know like when I get rid of this compared to like eye level of new things. I'm like, thank God I just don't have to worry about it anymore.
Take that shit off.
But I asked in our Discord earlier about the like embellishments and gear crafted from it. Like it's very obvious for the tier sets. It was like red. It's like this is not a thing anymore. But like the embellished things, it's not. Like it's still highlighted.
Are you gonna make the pairing ring, or are you gonna make something else for your crafting thingy? There's a thing you can make where you make 2 rings and you can touch them and they power up. And if you're with that person in content, they power up.
Well, what is this, Green Lantern shit?
Yeah, basically. So are you gonna craft one?
I literally haven't looked up what the guides say about like what I should use for my crafted pieces.
Figure it out.
Oh, that sounded really bratty.
Yeah, I mean, I do need to figure it out. Also, like, just a quick side tangent here. Like, have y'all seen, like, how our raid has, like, a lot of people signed up right now?
Jordan's freaks have, as I predicted, overblown our raid. We are approaching 30. Palliath, I see him online. He hasn't signed up. Elu hasn't come back. That's 2 people already. I don't know if Spunky and Suli signed up. So I don't know. I'm like, we're gonna have to do 2 fucking groups, aren't we?
I'll forever be like team no 2 groups. I feel like that was so bad for us as a guild.
Yeah. You know what? This time for top 2, bottom boot, medium moot, and that's gonna be my bottom boot. The potential of having 2 groups. I don't want to have to do that. Also, because one group is just going to be Sertan and all of his new friends who I don't think have played World of Warcraft before. So, like, that's fine if we're all one group. But if the majority of their group is going to be new people, I don't want to raid prog with that. Not if it's, like, the majority of them.
The other thing is that, like, if we need to split into 2 groups, like, it's whatever, it's fine. That's why I have, like, 2 mains. I'm like, that definitely means I'll probably have to heal, right?
Just say you don't want to heal.
I legitimately don't mind. I just want to know.
I'm on my Shadow Priest. He doesn't heal. I have to get my Holy Priest for that if they want me to heal. So, Aaron, you can heal. You gonna get on Wigglestein?
Oh, yeah, definitely. No. Wigglestein, maybe, let's see, what is it? Today is August 29th, 2024. Maybe in about a year, Wigglestein will get some play.
Okay. What about you, Aaron? What's your play? TTBBMM.
Well, I'm going to have a medium moot this week.
Medium moot.
And it is that I have, in fact, shifted now that I'm grown and I'm late in the game. I have shifted into war mode, but my time away from war mode in Dragonflight has made it really weird.
What do you mean?
So I will go out, and in war mode, no one fights each other. Like 95% of people don't fight each other. And when you do, they don't join in and they chastise you if you do it.
What do you mean?
Like maybe we're too early on. I was in the Hollowfall area and there was one guy and I had 2 other alliancemen near me. So I started fighting them and the guy like was fighting me one-on-one. And then he was better than me. I hate to say it. He killed me. And I came back and I tried to do it again. And still these people were sitting next to me and the guy was fighting me. And I was like, help? And he said, fuck off. He's just trying to do his world quest.
Wow. What are the odds? What are the odds that all this like faction mingling, that's just that guy's friend. He's like, dude, leave Daryl alone. That's my brother.
We're in the same guild.
Or like I'll go to these zones that are like free for all, which was, if I hate to say, in my opinion, the stupidest change they ever made. Because you either join a group where you all just steamroll a person, or you just don't go there. So I'm there and I'm fighting people, and it's like people are just whispering me like, "Fuck off! I'm just trying to do my thing." And I was like, "Guy, it's the free for all zone."
Then why
This
are
is
these
the
people
fastest-
in war mode then, or whatever?
Yeah, like this is the fastest way to achieve it. We're fighting each other. Like I get that. Like I'm usually like alliancemen stick together, but like if you're not in this group or you're not in a group, a lot of times there are no groups for these. It's like, well, I'm gonna fight you.
You gotta get out there and punish people for this.
There was a Drakthir today who was like, piss off. I'm just trying to do my thing. And I said, guy, I need 15%. He kept healing himself and doing like silly business to stay alive. And I just told him, I said, I need 15%. Let me kill you and it's over.
I'm doing my thing too. Let me do my thing by killing you. You will respawn instantly. It's fine. You're in the free for all zone.
Yeah, and it's like, and no one was attacking him, and there were other people around. I was like, just let me kill you, and then it's over. And then you can, pick plants and wait to kill goats? Do it the slow way?
Crazy.
Ugh.
Yeah, so I turned that on too. I did that free for all quest. I didn't realize it was free for all for a little bit until I was like, am I hitting an alliance Night Elf Pharaoh Dread? I'm like, this is lame. But nobody complained. We all just fought each other. Eventually, so a war chest dropped. The alliance flew in, beat up the horde. Then it was when early access ended and everybody was playing. It was like the official launch. So some groups organized to meet up by the Dalaran wreckage to kill incoming level 70s. And it was actually pretty fun. It did work. They had to phase in after a while. But we killed some fresh level 70s, and then they called in their big brothers to fly in level 80s, and then we killed them too. So it was pretty successful, and then I had to go.
I mean, hell yeah, I'll do that, though.
Hell yeah, brother. Speaking of brother, immunization brother, finish us off. I want to know what you did this week.
Yeah, finish me off, bro.
Ew. I have a bottom boot.
Boo.
Okay, in particular is one world quest, which was perhaps my least favorite world quest I've ever had to do in my life. It is in the Ringing Depths. it is one where you have
Rocks.
to collect ore and deposit it. And
I just left. I didn't know what to do. A man even cheered me on, and I got on my mount and I left, and I said there will be so many others.
like, I just don't understand what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to collect this ore. You drop it if you mount. You need to take it like up like 5 flights. And I'm like, this just does not seem worth it. You also, there's a lot of enemies that are like not even necessarily like easy to kill. And if you fight them for too long, then you lose your balance. And then if you lose your balance, then you have to use this extra action button, which is like an evoker type empowered spell that you have to like cast at a certain time to rebalance yourself. And it's just so annoying. I'm like, who made this world quest? This is the worst thing I've ever done in my life.
I haven't done this one yet. I'm excited to come across it. Maybe this is one of Xal'Tal's many tricks.
It certainly feels like it. I don't want anything to do with it. If I ever see it again, I won't do it. I also literally I feel like I never give up on world quests. I gave up on this one. I turned in 10 ore, and I'm like, well, where was I supposed to turn it in? Because it didn't count. I turned it into like, I guess, just random guys that weren't the ones you're supposed to turn in ore to, even though they accept ore. They're like, give us 5 ore. I'm like, okay, I gave you 5 ore. And then it didn't count towards my 10 ore that I had to turn in. And I'm like, well, where the fuck am I supposed to turn in this ore then?
Wait, you got fleeced by random men?
Yeah, these random earthen that are like, oh, we'll take your ore. I'm like, oh, cool.
Were they scarred in by chance? Is this Xal'Tal's trick?
No, y'all go out there and try this yourself if it's still up. I fucking hated that shit though. I'm never doing that again.
I'm sure it's easy. I'm gonna go out there and do it right now.
Like I said, I had too much to do. I was in the middle of doing it, and I was like 75% energy, and I had walked 4 steps. I was like, what does that mean? And that's when I saw that there was like a banner exclamation in Dornagal, and I said, fuck this, I'm gone.
Never again. Never doing that again. That is my bottom mood of the week.
Speaking of my top toot of this week, it is recognizing our patrons. They include Ahoy Vince, NSYNC / Drag Race, Ezra, and Digital Dave, asking Growlina to say, for the Horde. And I promise I'll be back. It's tough to pin people down for an interview when everyone's moving and grooving out here. Kat, the Shamateur Shaman. Mitch, who wants to remind everyone that Wrath, the Innocent Daddy, he's getting cucked in the Hollow Fall storyline. Crucifix, Alternator, Saracen Hawk, Chris M, Kick Puncher, Dr. Foster, Grumpy Old Shaman, Jerome, Adorno.
That's what good pussy sounds like.
Losing the Patient, Gershie Super Squirt Day, Duff, the Horde Pooper, Cooper, Kelkus, a Dagrin Stan, Cilantro, Wooly, Slidewhistle Secret Stalker, Teehee, Adam N, Vanderlyle, and Will, aka Tyre, Trade Chat's fallen father.
Join this illustrious band of Willyful Whiskers at patreon.com/do-not-relent. Send us emails. Send us pictures of hoo-has to do-not-relent-pod@gmail.com.
Don't do that second part, but we will be recording a bonus episode immediately after this. So yeah, if you want to hear us talk about random shit, subscribe to our Patreon.
Keep talking. Tell them where they can find you.
Well, you see, they can find me, Alex, or Immunization, on Twitter at New Era Alex, or Blue Sky at Immunization.
You can find me, Aaron the Human, at the Big Cheesy on Twitters.com. Watch me play Visiograms at twitch.tv/AaronDNR. And if you want to watch the VODs of those, it's Aaron DNR VOD, VOD VOD Dumps on YouTube. I just had a lovely stream with Cubby Bub where we watched my old high school comedy troupe videos. Boy, oh boy, I didn't know those were all in 280p. It was rough.
Oh man, you had to squint to see some stuff, huh?
Mm-hmm.
All right, well, we'll be back next week after everybody's finished the campaign.
He stared at me as he said that, by the way.
We had a whole bunch of talking points, but someone dragged their heels, just like I'm dragging out Lyndon to say this.
Another down! Do not relent!
Do Not Relent is a podcast within the 3HNC network, representing U.S. Proudmoore's premier podcasts.
That was a very good wish.